Good morning, everybody. So, wanted to reboot my YouTube channel. I'm gonna really just make it super simple, nothing um, complicated. I think in the past I tried to overcomplicate things, so gonna make things a little bit simpler moving forward. But um, so I'm probably gonna have much shorter little snippets of things that I share and other activities that I'm doing, books that I'm writing, that sort of thing, just to kind of keep you all a little bit more informed. My journey with writing started about 2 years ago when I published my first book, Always Improving: Lessons from the Samurai. And, in that book, I explained how samurai principles really do apply into a modern kind of personal and professional life challenges that we face today. Um, and I do my best to continue living by that guide that I built 2 years ago, and it largely is a result of what I learned over my life over the last decade plus. Um, because I believe it's just a better way to live. It's samurai weren't just a bunch of people that ran around with swords on their belt. They really tried to live by a code of discipline and largely from an idea of an improvement mindset. And in today's fast-paced world, these ancient lessons can still hold the key to unlocking success and us being able to build more harmony in our lives. You know, some people believe that the past should remain in the past and that, the future is, your oyster or whatever you refer to it as. But, I think it's really important to learn from the past, uh, apply those lessons into the present to create the kind of future that you want, right? Because when you're not learning from the past, you're just going to keep repeating those mistakes that you made in the past. So, I think when you consider a mentoring relationship, right, mentors tend to draw on their experiences to guide their mentees and helping them avoid pitfalls that, are unnecessary. Sometimes it's helpful to fail and learn from that failure, but sometimes, it's good to like not. So if you left the past in the past completely, I don't know how mentors could really be truly effective. And so I think there's something to consider there. And the samurai operated under this idea and this mentality that their knowledge and experience help them build self-discipline, right? And it also had this aspect of a commitment to continually improving their craft. Like anybody that would be considered a master at swordsmanship or martial arts of any kind, they're going to continue to practice on sometimes a multiple times per day kind of cadence. Truly they, understood that their efforts, um, to enhance their skills is really meant the difference between life and death. And so obviously we don't live in that same kind of like condition, I hope. But they really did embody that, continuous improvement, constant improvement kind of mindset, excuse me, that is really the essence of Kaizen, right? Um, and so being adaptable in challenging and changing circumstance was very vital for, the samurai to be able to survive. In today's world, right? If you look around, I think resilience and adaptability is also crucial for our personal and professional success. So learning how to embrace change and building resilience, I believe, is really vital, especially since the pace of change continues to accelerate as time goes on. And so self-discipline, right, I believe is one of those things that we can enhance and build over time, much like a muscle in your body. And, if you consistently use and challenge a muscle, it'll grow, right? Like if you go to the gym regularly, you're going to see a change in those muscle groups as you're, using them and challenging them. And self-discipline really is no different, right? So I think the key, just like doing, physical exercise, you have to start small. You can't just go into the gym thinking you're gonna, you know, be able to lift weights like, Lou Ferrigno or, Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of those guys that were like just like super bulky, it's just not going to happen. So, um, once you have a goal, consider how to make minor, steady improvement towards that goal to really get good outcomes. And I think if you approach it that way, you're going to get there much faster than you thought. And if you try to like just jump to the end of the line without actually going through the motions, you're going to find that it's going to take you longer to get there. So really it's about shifting your mindset away from this idea of, massive and instant change. Like that's not going to happen. It's not sustainable. I think it's important to embrace the the challenge and embrace the journey, right? So, the next time I come back here, I'm going to be talking about, another book that I've written about a year and a bit ago. I released it. It's called The War Within Us. Um, and, throughout the next several months, I'm going to be unpacking different aspects of all the different books I've written and how I've been adapting and adopting those principles into my life. So, um, I think if you are in a situation right now where you needed to hear like, oh yeah, I need to start thinking about setting some new goals for myself. Like I would love to hear what those are. Like drop a comment. And yeah, just let me know how it's going for you. I'd really love to hear that. And it's all about steady forward progress. So even if you fail, it's okay. It's about moving forward. So I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from Miyamoto Musashi. Um, it may seem difficult at first, but everything is difficult at first. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.